Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy with a new video for Disney Week. Now this video is going to be a bit different as it's not a review, it's not a top 10 list, and it's not really a discussion. It's very similar maybe to a why I won't watch video, but basically as you can clearly tell by the title below, I'm going to be talking about Maleficent. A movie that came out this summer that I didn't really do a review for, and I know a lot of you are wondering why I never did a review for it. Well, that's because I actually did plan to do a review for it. I just got really lazy again. I should just make a shirt that said I would have done a video today, but I was really lazy. Not only was I trying to do a review for that movie, but I also was trying to plan a second video talking more spoilers about Maleficent that were my reasons as to why I hated it. Because guys, when I saw Maleficent, I couldn't stand it. It pissed me off so much. In fact, I went to see this movie with one of my friends, Stephanie, and I was just bitching to her the entire time I was watching the film because I couldn't believe what I was watching. I thought it was so ridiculous. I thought it was so over the top. I hated the direction that they took in the film, and now I'm going to go into more detail as to why that is. Now I'm going to give you two disclaimers before starting this video off. First off, this video will contain a lot of spoilers to the film Maleficent. So if you have not seen the film and you really want to see it, even though I would highly recommend skipping it, don't watch this video because, again, spoilers. And secondly, and I don't know why I have to say this because you're on the freaking internet, the most opinionated place on the face of the earth. But just keep this in mind, these are just my personal opinions as to why I couldn't stand watching Maleficent. Who knows, maybe you really love Maleficent. Maybe you found some qualities of the film that you really liked that I personally didn't like. Or maybe you agree with my opinions and felt like, yeah, the film was kind of lacking in some places. As long as we all can just respect and hear each other out, that's all I ask for. If you respect my opinion, I will gladly respect yours. The first reason as to why I hated Maleficent is because I felt like it was a complete bastardization of the story of Sleeping Beauty and the character of Maleficent. And I totally understand that this is a reimagining of the classic story of Sleeping Beauty, so they're gonna take a few liberties with the story here and there, but the direction and execution of the story I felt was extremely lackluster. I mean, they could have easily have told the original Sleeping Beauty story and it still would have been very interesting. Maybe add a few tweaks here and there to the story, it would have been solid. But instead of doing that, they decided to take the original source material, throw it out of a window and said, hey, let's make Sleeping Beauty the Frozen version. And that is truly what this film is. It's Sleeping Beauty, the Frozen version. Because you don't follow Aurora, you follow the antagonist who is now the anti-hero of the story, Maleficent. And speaking of the character Maleficent, they turned Maleficent, one of Disney's most iconic and badass villains, into this sympathetic, misunderstood puppy dog of a character who's so vulnerable and emotional, and not in that good way. Instead of having the balls to commit to telling a true villain story, Disney decides to cop out and make Maleficent from a villain into a sympathetic anti-hero who is redeemed at the end of the film. What? Besides one scene in the movie, which was honestly the best scene in the entire movie because it was the only scene where Maleficent was actually acting like Maleficent, the character resembles almost nothing from its original. But honestly, the one character that I felt like they dropped the ball with was Princess Aurora. They had the opportunity, they had the golden chance to actually make Princess Aurora an interesting, dynamic, three-dimensional princess character. And what did they do? They made her extremely bland, extremely one-dimensional. This is the blandest she has ever been. All she does through the entire movie is smile and giggle. She has no character trait outside of being a ditzy blonde. That's it. That is her character in a nutshell. Come on, Disney. You had the chance to make one of the most blandest princess characters in your roster actually be interesting, actually compete with the other Disney princesses. And what do? You make her even more bland. What? How? But but she's not even close to the blandest and most useless character in the entire film, and I truly mean that he's completely useless outside of having to be Princess Aurora's love interest, and that is the prince. The prince is so shoehorned into the movie that it was painful. When I saw him walking in the woods with his horse and he meets Princess Aurora, I was like leaning back on my chair like, oh god, no. No, please, no. This guy, I don't even know what to say about him. He has no character to him whatsoever. At least I can say Princess Aurora is a very ditzy, happy-go-lucky person. With the prince, I have no idea what the fuck he is. He's a stand-in. He's a cardboard stand-in in the movie. That's what he is. In fact, no, scratch that, because a cardboard stand-in has more personality than this character. That's the honest truth. The king as well was an extremely hollow character, being straight up ruthless and having no redeeming quality to him whatsoever. And the character's motives would be all over the place. Like one minute he truly loves Maleficent, and then he grows up to be a man and he wants to be king of this kingdom, so he takes her wings. And then he has a daughter, and then he tries to go hide her away so that, you know, the curse that Maleficent put on her wouldn't come to fruition. And then he totally just forgets about his daughter and just is straight up, I need to kill Maleficent. What is this character's modus operandi? What does this character want to do? And honestly, there are no good male characters whatsoever in this film. They're either really ruthless and evil or just bland and forgettable. I'm not gonna lie, that made me feel really uncomfortable and misrepresented. I guess now I kind of understand what some girls feel like whenever they see some female characters on screen, although this is just like one movie out of the plethora of movies that misrepresent some women, I guess. And with that being said, that leads me to my next issue, and that's the fact that I felt like the writers, or writers, since there's only one writer for the film, completely forgot many major plot points in the story that could have easily have been added. As I sort of mentioned earlier, the reason that the king is supposed to be worried is not because he's afraid that Maleficent is coming for him, but he's worried about the safety of his daughter, his beloved daughter that he cares so much for that he actually puts her into hiding so that the curse that Maleficent puts on her doesn't come to fruition. And it just feels like they completely ignore that whole subplot to focus on like action nearing the end of the film and have the king square off with Maleficent. There was actually one scene in the film that baffles me to this very day. It is so outrageous and unbelievable, even for a Disney princess fantasy film. I could not believe what I was looking at. In fact, when I saw the scene, I went, really? Really, guys? Really? And that's basically when Princess Aurora awakens from her sleep. She's walking away with Maleficent, and all of a sudden, the guards come out of nowhere and start, you know, kind of fighting with Maleficent. And Princess Aurora is like, hey, move aside, move. And one of the guards is like, get away, hold her back, push her away. And I went, do you not recognize who you are pushing away? That is Princess Aurora, who not too long ago was in a deep sleep. Is no one gonna tell the king that his beloved daughter has awakened from her deep sleep that she was supposed to never wake up from? I mean, come on, guys, come on! It was at this very point that I realized that the film had completely given up on trying to tell the Sleeping Beauty story and focused more on Maleficent and the action scene that was about to go down. But it still just doesn't make any sense on a storytelling aspect. How the hell does this guard not recognize who Princess Aurora is? The daughter of the king, the man that he has pledged to serve, who just came home a few days ago, had a talk with their father around all of his soldiers. How does he not recognize this girl? How is nobody baffled at the fact that Princess Aurora, who we all saw collapse, is finally awake? Did no one think to tell the king that his daughter had awoken? Like, seriously, these are little things that just really bother me and detracted from the story. And the last issue that I had was that this film as a whole felt extremely rushed, not taking the necessary time to develop the world, its characters, and the relationship between the characters, which makes you not really care what happens to any of the characters or the relationship or any events that's happening in the film. You just look at what's happening and say, Oh, okay, that happened. Okay, and oh, that happened, and oh, that's nice. And if I were to give Maleficent a grade now, it would be a 1 out of 5 stars, being an unnecessary waste of time, because that's what the movie did. It wasted my time showing me characters I don't give a shit about, a story that I don't give a shit about, and turning Maleficent, one of the most interesting and menacing Disney villains, into this really uninteresting, sympathetic puppy dog of a character that they shouldn't have done. They should have kept her menacing, should have kept her cool. And those, ladies and gentlemen, were my reasons as to why I hated Maleficent. And I'm sorry that this turned into a rage video. I just had to let it all out of my system, you know, get that sense of catharsis and just purge it all out and go, I'm free. And I actually feel good now. I feel like I let it all out. I'm awesome. But I would love to know what you guys thought about Maleficent. Did anybody out there really love it and would consider it one of your favorite movies of the year? Or did you guys agree with all my points and felt like the movie was a complete waste of time? And is there anybody out there that did like the film but could see where I was coming from? Be sure to comment below and let me know. And Disney Week is still ongoing, so stay tuned for all the videos that are coming soon. And until that next video comes, guys, if you would like to be a part of the Black Critic crew and not miss out on a single video for Disney Week, be sure to hit that subscribe button below, like this video if you really enjoy it, share it with all your friends, share it with people that saw Maleficent, and I'm Tony Watt II, the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.
Wow.